Hey everyone, I want to talk about something that means a lot to me: trusting yourself. It's not always easy, right? We live in a world that constantly tells us what to do, how to be, how to look, how to think. And sometimes it feels like everyone else has it figured out but us. But here's the thing: you have it in you. I know it can feel overwhelming to listen to all the noise around you, to see everyone else succeeding, and wonder if you're on the right path. Trust me, I get it. I've been there. I've had moments where I doubted myself, where I questioned whether I was doing enough or if I was even good enough. But here's the truth: you are more than enough just as you are. The hardest thing sometimes is learning to listen to your own voice, the one deep inside that whispers to you, even when the world is loud. That's your true guide. But you have to trust it. Trust yourself enough to follow that voice, even when it doesn't make sense to anyone else, even when you can't see the full picture yet. There's power in owning your decisions, in knowing that you have the strength and the wisdom to navigate whatever comes your way. Don't let fear stop you from moving forward, and don't let doubt steal your confidence. Even when you fall, even when things get tough, you'll rise again because you've got this. You are capable of far more than you realize, and the world needs you to believe that. Trusting yourself isn't about being perfect, it's about embracing who you are, flaws and all, and knowing that you're enough. You don't need anyone else's validation. You just need your own belief in yourself, your own strength, and the courage to keep going. So take a moment and remember who you are. You've made it this far, and that's something worth celebrating. You've got dreams, you've got heart, and you've got the power to shape your own future. Trusting your inner voice is one of the most powerful and transformative things you can do in life. In a world filled with distractions, opinions, and outside influences, it can be incredibly difficult to hear your own voice, let alone trust it. We're often conditioned to look to others for approval or guidance, to compare ourselves to those around us. But the truth is, no one knows you better than you know yourself. Deep within you, there's a voice that's been guiding you all along. It's quiet, sometimes, but it's the part of you that knows what you truly want, what feels right, and what makes you happy, even when the rest of the world is telling you something else. The first step in trusting that voice is learning to listen. It can be hard to hear it above the noise of daily life, the opinions of friends, family, social media, or even the inner critic that doubts every decision you make. But you have to carve out space to listen. This means quieting your mind, stepping away from the chaos, and giving yourself permission to tune in. It's in those moments of stillness that you can hear the whispers of your some truth. Listening to your inner voice requires a willingness to be vulnerable, to face the uncomfortable truths about yourself and your life. Sometimes it's easier to ignore that voice and keep going with what's expected of you. But the more you ignore it, the harder it becomes to trust it. Your inner voice isn't always going to tell you what's easy. It might nudge you toward change, growth, or risk things that push you outside your comfort zone. But that's exactly what makes it so important. It's leading you to where you're supposed to go, not where others expect you to go. Trusting your inner voice also means learning to tune out the doubts that creep in. It's easy to question yourself when things don't go as planned or when someone tells you that you've made the wrong choice. But those doubts don't define you. Your inner voice, however, is consistent. It's not swayed by external opinions or temporary setbacks. It's the one that keeps calling you back to your true purpose, no matter how many times you stray off course. Trusting it means believing in your own ability to navigate through the ups and downs, knowing that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. Another important aspect of trusting your inner voice is having the courage to make decisions that feel right for you, even if they don't make sense to anyone else. People may question your choices, or they might not understand why you're doing what you're doing. But remember, they're not walking in your shoes. They don't feel what you feel, and they don't have the same dreams, desires, or vision for your life. Only you can know what's best for you. It takes bravery to stand firm in your decisions, especially when the world around you might be pushing you in a different direction. But by trusting your inner voice, you're honoring your own needs, desires, and goals. Trusting your inner voice also means being patient with yourself. It's easy to get frustrated when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like, or when the answers aren't coming as clearly as you want. But trust is a practice. It's something that grows over time. As you listen more, as you follow through on your instincts, you'll begin to build a deeper connection with yourself and your truth. The more you trust, the more your confidence will grow. And with that confidence comes the ability to make choices that are aligned with your authentic self. When you trust your inner voice, you start to feel more at peace with who you are. You stop questioning your worth or second guessing your path. You become more grounded in your decisions and less concerned about what others think. You realize that your truth is enough, and that's a powerful place to be. It's not about perfection or always having all the answers. It's about trusting that you are capable of navigating life's challenges with the wisdom that lies within you. Your inner voice is a reflection of your true self, and when you trust it, you step into your fullest potential. You stop living for others or trying to meet expectations that were never yours to begin with. You start to live for you, guided by your own truth, knowing that the choices you make are the right ones for your unique journey. Trusting your inner voice doesn't mean you won't face obstacles or make mistakes along the way, but it does mean that you'll always have the guidance you need to get back on track. That voice will always be there, quietly reminding you that you are enough and that you're capable of achieving whatever it is that's meant for you. Embracing your flaws and imperfections is one of the most powerful ways to build self-trust and self-love. We live in a society that often pushes us toward perfection, whether it's in our appearance, achievements, or the way we present ourselves to the world. Social media, television, and even the people around us often showcase curated, flawless images of life, making it easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we must meet impossible standards. But the truth is, our flaws and imperfections are not weaknesses. They are what make us human, and they are what make us unique. For most of us, it takes time to accept that we are not perfect. From childhood, we are taught to strive for perfection, to be the best, to outperform others, to fit in. We're told to hide our mistakes and put on a brave face, even when we're struggling. But in reality, it's our flaws that shape us, that teach us important lessons, and that allow us to connect with others on a deeper level. When we embrace our flaws, we begin to see them as part of our story, part of the journey that has led us to where we are today. Embracing imperfections is also about letting go of the fear of judgment. We often hold ourselves back because we worry about what others might think. We don't speak up in meetings because we fear our ideas won't be good enough. We hide our true selves because we're afraid of being rejected. But when we accept our imperfections, we free ourselves from the need for approval from others. We realize that no one is perfect and that everyone has their own flaws. When we stop trying to hide who we really are, we create space for authentic connections with others. One of the most liberating parts of embracing our imperfections is recognizing that they are opportunities for growth. Every flaw, every mistake is a lesson in disguise. Maybe you failed at something, or maybe you struggled in a certain area of your life. But that doesn't define you. What matters is how you learn and grow from those experiences. When you embrace your imperfections, you stop seeing them as setbacks and start seeing them as opportunities to evolve and become better versions of yourself. A big part of embracing your flaws is learning to let go of comparison. It's easy to look at others and think, why can't I be like them? But when you compare yourself to others, you miss the beauty of your own uniqueness. Everyone's journey is different, and no one has the exact same strengths, weaknesses, or experiences as you. When you focus on your own path and stop comparing, you free yourself from the pressure of measuring up to others. You start to appreciate what makes you special and realize that your flaws are just as important as your strengths in shaping who you are. Perfectionism can be exhausting. It's a constant cycle of trying to meet external standards that are often unrealistic. When you embrace your flaws, you give yourself permission to relax, to stop striving for unattainable ideals, and to just be. This doesn't mean you stop improving yourself or working toward your goals. It means you accept that you are allowed to be imperfect, that growth is a process, and that you are worthy even when you're not perfect. Moreover, embracing imperfections allows you to show up more authentically in the world. You stop pretending to be someone you're not and instead step into who you truly are. When you stop hiding your flaws, you stop creating barriers between yourself and the people around you. You become more real, more relatable, and more human. And when others see you being true to yourself, they are more likely to feel comfortable doing the same. This creates a deeper sense of connection and community where everyone feels safe to be themselves, flaws and all. Embracing your flaws also means being kinder to yourself. We are often our harshest critics, holding ourselves to unrealistic standards and being quick to point out our shortcomings. But when we embrace our imperfections, we learn to show ourselves compassion. We recognize that we don't need to be perfect to be valuable. We learn to celebrate our progress instead of focusing on our mistakes, and we understand that we deserve love and kindness regardless of our flaws. Letting go of perfection and embracing your flaws also allows you to take risks and step outside your comfort zone. If you're always worried about being perfect, you'll never take the chances that could lead to growth or opportunity. But when you accept that failure and mistakes are part of the journey, you become more open to trying new things, learning from them, and growing in ways you never imagined. Imperfection opens the door to new experiences, new lessons, and new chances to discover who you truly are. In the end, embracing your flaws is an act of self-love. It's about accepting yourself as you are, without judgment, and understanding that your worth isn't determined by your perfection. It's about recognizing that you are enough, flaws and all, and that those imperfections are not something to hide, but something to celebrate. Your flaws are part of your story, and they are part of what makes you extraordinary. Believing in your own strength and wisdom is an essential component of living a fulfilled life. So often, we look outward for validation, direction, and guidance. We rely on others to tell us what we're capable of, what we should do, and what our next step should be. But the truth is, everything you need to succeed, to overcome challenges, and to grow is already inside of you. It's in your heart, your mind, and your soul, even when you don't always feel like it's there. The key to tapping into that inner power is learning to trust yourself and believe in your own abilities, even when external circumstances might suggest otherwise. We've all been in situations where we've doubted ourselves. We've faced moments of uncertainty, fear, and self-criticism. It's natural to question our worth or our abilities, especially when life throws us curveballs. But in those moments, we must remind ourselves that we are stronger than we think. Strength is not just about physical endurance or mental toughness. It's about resilience, the ability to rise after falling, and the courage to keep going even when the path is unclear. Every time we face adversity and push through it, we become stronger. The challenges that once seemed insurmountable start to feel more manageable, and the confidence in our ability to handle what comes our way grows. It's a process of proving to ourselves over and over that we can rely on our own strength. Believing in your strength also involves recognizing that you have the wisdom to make decisions that align with your values and goals. So often we second-guess ourselves, seeking advice from others instead of trusting our own judgment. While seeking advice is important, we must remember that we are the ultimate experts on our own lives. You know what feels right for you, even if it's not the most popular or conventional choice. Your intuition is a powerful tool, your inner compass that can guide you through life's decisions. When you learn to trust that voice inside of you, you begin to make choices that are true to who you are, rather than being influenced by the opinions and expectations of others. We all face moments of doubt, but it's crucial to recognize that self-doubt doesn't negate your wisdom. In fact, self-doubt is often a sign that you're growing, stepping out of your comfort zone, and confronting the unknown. It's a natural part of the process. True strength lies not in being completely certain all the time, but in the courage to move forward even when you don't have all the answers. You don't have to have everything figured out in order to believe in your own strength and wisdom. Trusting yourself means having faith in the process, even when the outcome isn't clear. It's understanding that every decision you make is an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. In times of uncertainty, it's easy to look to others for reassurance, but often the best thing you can do is look inward. Reflect on the times in your life when you've overcome challenges, when you've made it through difficult moments that you thought you couldn't handle. Remember the strength you showed, the decisions you made, and the wisdom you relied on in those moments. Those experiences are proof that you have everything you need within you to navigate whatever comes next. Believing in your own strength also means giving yourself permission to fail. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. It's through failure that we learn our most valuable lessons. If you never believed in your own strength enough to take risks, you'd never get the chance to experience failure. And if you never failed, you'd miss the opportunity to grow, improve, and ultimately succeed in ways you never imagined. So, when you stumble, when things don't go as planned, remember that failure is not a reflection of your inability. It's simply a stepping stone on your path to success. The more you embrace failure as a part of the process, the more you'll believe in your own strength to handle whatever comes your way. Another aspect of believing in your own strength is accepting that you don't need anyone's approval to be successful. We often spend so much energy trying to please others or meet their expectations that we forget to focus on our own desires. The truth is, you don't need anyone else to tell you that you're capable. You don't need external validation to know your worth. Your strength comes from within. from the belief that you are enough just as you are. You are worthy of success, happiness, and fulfillment, and you don't have to prove that to anyone else. Trusting in your wisdom also means embracing your unique perspective. Your life experiences, your struggles, your successes, and your lessons are all part of what makes you who you are. No one else has the same combination of skills, knowledge, and wisdom that you do. You have a perspective that's entirely your own. And that's something to be proud of. When you learn to trust your own judgment, you begin to understand the power of your individual voice. You start to realize that the choices you make and the wisdom you share can have a profound impact not just on your own life, but on the lives of others as well. Believing in your strength and wisdom is about recognizing that you are your own greatest ally. You don't need to look outside of yourself for reassurance or answers. You have everything you need to navigate life's challenges within you. When you trust yourself, you unlock your full potential. You stop holding yourself back and start stepping into your power. It's about knowing that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way and having the confidence to move forward even in the face of uncertainty. Your strength is not defined by how much you achieve or how many obstacles you overcome. It's defined by your ability to trust yourself, to keep going when things get tough, and to believe that you have the wisdom to make the right choices for your life. Keep moving forward even when it feels impossible. Life can be overwhelming at times, and we all face moments when we want to give up, when we feel like we've hit a wall, or when everything seems to be going wrong. But it's during these times that your ability to keep moving forward becomes one of the most important qualities you can cultivate. It's not about moving forward in huge, bold leaps. Sometimes it's simply about taking one small step at a time, no matter how difficult it may seem. The key is to not stay stagnant, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when the road ahead feels uncertain. When life gets hard, it's easy to get discouraged and start questioning everything. You may begin to wonder if all your efforts are in vain, or if things will ever get better. But progress isn't always linear, and setbacks are often a part of the journey. You might not always see the results immediately, but each step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward growth and transformation. The important thing is to keep moving forward, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become stronger. The more you push through the tough moments, the more you realize that you are capable of handling so much more than you ever thought possible. There will be times when you feel exhausted, when the weight of everything around you feels too heavy to bear. It's natural to feel that way. We're only human, and we all have our limits. But what makes a difference is how you respond in those moments. It's about showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. It's about finding the strength within to keep going. Even when you're tired, discouraged, or frustrated, you don't have to have all the answers and you don't have to have everything figured out. What matters is that you keep going, even if it's just in small, quiet ways. When you keep moving forward, you give yourself the chance to discover new strengths within you, strengths you may not even realize you have until you need them. Sometimes the biggest challenge is simply showing up. When things aren't going well, it can feel like the last thing you want to do is face the day, to face the challenges ahead of you. But showing up is a powerful act of resilience. It's a reminder that no matter what you're going through, you're still here. You're still fighting. You're still putting in the effort, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. It's important to recognize that showing up, no matter how hard it may seem, is a victory in itself. It's a sign that you are still pushing forward, even in the face of adversity. There will be times when you feel like you've hit a wall, when you feel stuck or uncertain about what to do next. This is where persistence becomes key. When things aren't working out the way you'd hoped, it's easy to want to give up. But true growth comes from continuing to push forward, even when things aren't going your way. It might not always look like progress, but if you keep moving, you'll eventually find the breakthroughs you've been waiting for. The most successful people are often the ones who keep going when everyone else has given up. They know that failure is not the end, it's just a stepping stone on the way to success. The ability to keep going when things are tough is what separates those who succeed from those who quit. It's also important to recognize that moving forward doesn't always mean making huge strides or achieving major milestones. Sometimes it's about taking a step back, reevaluating your approach, and figuring out a new path. Progress isn't always about pushing forward at full speed, it's about staying adaptable and open to change. If one path isn't working, find another one. Sometimes the hardest part is simply getting out of the mindset that there's only one way to move forward. There are always multiple paths, and sometimes the detours are where the most valuable lessons are learned. In the face of adversity, it's crucial to remember that you are not alone. Everyone faces challenges and everyone has moments of doubt. It's okay to lean on others for support when you need it. But ultimately, the strength to move forward comes from within you. It comes from your ability to believe that you are capable of overcoming whatever comes your way. Even when it feels like the world is against you, trust that you have the strength to handle whatever life throws your way. No matter how hard it gets, keep moving forward. The strength to move forward is something that grows with each step you take. Even in your darkest moments, the act of continuing to move forward is an act of hope, of belief in yourself, and of faith that things will get better. Moving forward also requires patience. Sometimes the road ahead is long and it can be hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but trust the process. Trust that every step you take is leading you to where you're meant to be. It may take time and it may not always happen as quickly as you'd like, but progress is still progress. Each day that you keep going, you are one step closer to where you want to be. You are one step closer to healing, to growth, to the life you're working toward. The journey may not always be easy, but it's worth it. Keep moving forward because you are stronger than you think and you are capable of overcoming anything that comes your way.